Hi everyone, welcome to Embedded and IoT Enthusiast Learning Space. Today we'll be discussing about IoT, Internet of Things, and what are the security challenges are in IoT. So we'll split this session in two sections. So today we'll cover basically the overview of IoT, and in the second episode we'll be talking about the security challenges and how we can mitigate the securities in IoT space. So let's get started. So to start with, what is IoT? IoT is a buzz, right? And it's Internet of Things, which describes a network of physical objects, which we call things, and all are embedded devices which has transducer or sensors and a communication link, and that communication link can be edge or cloud based, and that is used to connect and exchange data with other devices and other system over internet. IoT devices can be broadly classified into three categories. One is consumer IoT, another one is commercial IoT, third one is the industrial IoT, or we can even make it a superset like industrial as well as infrastructure IoT. So consumer IoT applications are basically mainly deployed for individual or their families, which includes home automation, or it can be a lot of wearable, hearable devices and connected health devices like fitness tracker, and even like other streaming devices, smart TV, smart fridge. We'll talk in detail about in the next slide. Commercial IoT applications are deployed in office spaces, stores. It can be hospitality industry, supermarkets, and entertainment spaces, and even like telecom, media. These are some of the area where commercial IoT applications can be deployed. Industrial IoT applications are mainly deployed in the manufacturing plants, factories, warehouses for asset inventory tracking, and those can be even deployed in like some of them can be the power grid and other key areas. So let's talk about this IoT state machine, right? So what are the main component of IoT system? So IoT system architecture, if in a simplistic view, it broadly consists of three components. One is device. Device essentially can be microcontroller, microprocessor, or it can be one, system on chip, and it has transducer, which can be sensors and other things, as well as there will be connectivity, edge, gateway, and cloud. So on the communication front, it can have short range communication link or long range communication link. So device includes sensors, actuators, and which connects to the edge gateway via short range protocols. So short range protocols are you have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 15.4, like Zigbee, Thread, or it can be other peer-to-peer communication. There are a lot of other thing available. If you see ESP32 has a few ad hoc peer-to-peer communications that can also be used. One I remember is ESP Now. And edge gateway layer consists of sensor data aggregation system that provide functionality such as you can pre-process the data, and as well as the secure connectivity to the cloud. So it's basically edge is just the data aggregator which is aggregating data from various devices which are nodes, right? And then we have the cloud, the third component. It basically what it does, cloud is cloud includes the various database system that store sensor data, and you can even label that data, you can classify the data, you can post process the data. And typical data storage and data systems are you can have Cassandra, or you can have even like traditional databases like SQL. So cloud-based IoT system features event queuing and the messaging system that handles communication, which is transparent to all the gateway and the device. So it basically gets the data from all the edge gateway, it stores it, and then you can even do ML, AI. So now if you see here the state machine, so you have sensor data collection, which is on the device, and you have a short range or long range link, communication link, which is basically sending data to the gateway, data communication access control. So I mean, so this is more like you communicate the data, and you have the certain access control that enables what data you are authorized to access. Then you do data analysis. So data analysis can be done in the it can be cloud based or the device based. It's totally depend on what kind of computational power your device has. If your device doesn't have much computational power, then it can be always offloaded to cloud. So there you can have a lot of artificial intelligence or machine learning models that can operate on that data set, and then you derive action based on the prediction on or the behavior that you basically derived after doing the data analysis. And the behavior and the prediction is invokes the user action, and the user action is basically controlling the device. Now let's deep dive into consumer IoT segment. So consumer IoT mainly focuses on individuals and their families to improve the quality of life by simplifying day-to-day use cases. So if you see day-to-day use cases, so these five pillars you will be seeing these are dealing with day-to-day use cases. So TV we use on daily basis. So smart TV is one of the use case. Then we have connected streaming devices like Alexa or for AVS, or we can have soundbar with surround speakers uh, over wireless link, or it can be Wi-Fi or BT link. And then we use on day-to-day basis a lot of wearable devices, which are smartwatches, hearable devices, which are earbuds or earpod, and then fitness tracker devices. We use fitness band for pedometer, step count, how we are sleeping, sleep pattern, and even like heart rate monitoring, pulse oximeter. I mean, these are some of the fitness use cases. And as well as on home automation side, so we have now smart bulb, smart lock, and smart fridge. uh, and in the ecosystem, in the security side, we have security cameras and plus access control, right? So we can have RFID based access control, or even we can have Zigbee based access control, facial recognition based access control in our home apartment. In consumer, basically it's dealing with day-to-day life. So this deployment is basically done in your apartment building or even door of your flat. It's a basically small personal network with few nodes, because in a home you can have like a few nodes that can go up to 5, 10, or max it can go to 16. It depends, like I mean, how many family members are there. And it has not very aggressive power constraints, but it has moderate power requirement, because when we are in home, then we have a liberty to charge those devices. I mean, we can always charge, unlike any deployment done in remote, or where you can't have regular charging of those devices. So I can say it's a moderate power constraint device. uh, it has short lifespan. It's not going to be deployed for 10 years, 20 years, because technology is changing, new specs are coming, so there is always new improved product is coming in the markets that makes the shorter lifespan. And they mainly uses the short range communication protocols, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Zigbee 15.4, which is 15.4 spec or thread, or it can have other short range communications, so which are coming. UWB is one of the interesting thing, and 802.11 AH is also one of the interesting spec that is probably that will be getting deployed in IoT use cases in the consumer section especially. Now let's deep dive into industrial IoT segment, or I would say industrial plus infrastructure IoT segment. So industrial IoT mainly focuses to improve safety, operational efficiency of any organization with remote monitoring and control. So what we are doing is we are remotely monitoring things. It can be your asset monitoring, inventory tracking, and with that we are basically increasing our operational efficiency, and we are basically creating low cost. We are basically making it low cost deployments. So, so they do have power constraint, because these industrial IoT, some of the deployment can be, or at least on the infrastructure side, so that can be on the remote side. So we need to make sure, like some of these segment can have a strict power constraint. So we need to make sure we design a product or design a solution which can cater uh, long years with low battery attach. Then it has very larger lifespan because we can't really change those deployment. So it can go up to 5 years to 10 years. So these must be ruggedized, robust, and must be security fully secure solutions. And these are the large scale network. So here we are not talking about a local area network where we are dealing with 5 nodes, 10 nodes at max. So these can be a lot machine to machine or like machine to man interactions. So these can be multiple number of nodes. So this is basically large scale network. So it should be very resilient network, so that you should be able to, if one node goes down, you should be able to go via another node. And unlike uh, consumer IoT, it uses gateway for connection between cloud and sensors or controllers. So you basically, since you have a lot of number of node, you have more data, so you want everything to be processed on the cloud. Yeah, so that's one of the another requirement on the industrial IoT side. So these are the pillars. So I mean, or the use cases for industrial. So one is the manufacturing plant. It can be other industries, manufacturing industries, or other industries. So what we do there, right? So basically, that is the supply chain management, fleet management, inventory and asset tracking, right? So these are popular use cases that can be deployed on manufacturing side or industry side. On the smart city, smart power grids. So this is going to be, I mean, this is getting explored, or this is getting not only explored or being deployed, at least in the developing countries. So smart power grids, smart parking, public transport, connected smart meter that can be over like 15.4 link, smart lights. We can have the smart waste management. Road and highways can have a lot of connectivity, and fully autonomous access control for security system that is can be based on the facial recognition. So these can be one of the security aspects around that. So this is still getting deployed, and there is a lot of scope to do. Third one is the mining, oil, gas. So in the exploration side, so you can have you use a lot of big equipment, so you can monitor those equipments, the health of the equipment, so that you can basically do the servicing of the equipment, and you can basically take the action prior any error fatal happens. And it's more like remote cloud assisted geo exploration. So this is one of the good use case in mining, oil gases, or any other exploration use cases. Then we have agriculture. So agriculture is also a lot of things can be done on the agriculture side. So it's like water management, irrigation, and crop harvesting. So I mean, basically, you can have drone surveillance for agriculture, and based on that, you can basically feedback and control remotely. You can basically water management you can do right with the remote management. So or maybe if there is any camera you have, uh, connected camera you have deployed in your fields, then you can always monitor from remote, and basically you can control irrigation, water management, other use cases. Then we have connected vehicle. In the connected vehicle, we have autonomous, or fully autonomous, or it can be partially autonomous or non-autonomous V2X communication. So V2X is vehicle to all. So we can have vehicle to infrastructure and vehicle to vehicle communication. So this is also one of the major use case in industrial. So V2X and V2V, V2I today uses 802.11p spec. Now it's basically 4G or 5G is also getting, I mean, they are also now getting that is also getting deployed in V2X communications. Now let's deep dive commercial IoT space. So commercial IoT mainly targeting the daily environment which is outside your home and that is being used for commercial purpose, right? And that can be your enterprise IoT market. So the main uses of the commercial IoTs are in retail. So retail, we can have smart point of sale device, and on the retail side, we can use commercial IoT use cases can be used for indoor navigation, You can have smart shelf, interactive smart displays which can be gesture controlled. So these are few of the use cases in retail segment, and these are being currently deployed by a lot of key retail companies. Then the another deployment is on the healthcare. So on the healthcare, we have remote patient monitoring, medical devices, like different medical devices communicating to each other for patient monitoring, drug management. And we can have companion robots, which are good options that can monitor the vital parameters, and even they can basically provide medicines to elders who are living alone, right? So at least in the pandemic, uh, where we cannot really visit hospitals very frequently, then these kind of companion robots can be very, very good option for elders who are living alone and they need constant and monitoring for their vital parameters, and they need to basically have medicine so they can be reminded or they can be assisted with these medicines. Then we have banking and insurance section. So it can be smart customer onboarding, smart payment contracts, and smart banking, which you can be doing on variables, provided variable is having a secure link. Then on the telecom side, you can be having the physical security of the telecommunication equipment that is being deployed at the remote. So you can basically remotely check and see if any error fatal happening or if it needs servicing. So those can be towers that are getting deployed in the remote area. So it's more like you are remotely checking the device, monitoring the device without physically inspecting it. So it's more like remote monitoring and sensing the device. So that can be that is one of the use case in telecom. And on the entertainment and media side, so we have smart advertising, direct to customer interaction, drone assisted reporting that is being used, right, and recording. So these are one of the things. Apart from that, on the commercial side, there can be drone assisted rehab, drone assisted, uh, I mean, you can basically distribute food, right, if there is a flooding happened and all. So these are some of the use cases that are being used and going to be used. Now let's have quick comparison of all of the three segments. So we will have the areas, and then we will see what is the requirement for each of the segment for those areas. So where that is being targeted, so consumer IoT on individual, home, family, industrial IoT is basically for machine, the factory, and commercial IoT is in the retail space, commercial building, offices and hospital. These are the targets for each segment. Power wise, consumer IoT, low power, moderate power, industrial IoT, moderate power, low power, commercial IoT is also low power. So I would say industrial is also low power, and I would put consumer as moderate and low power. Connectivity side, consumer IoT, as we discussed, so mainly short range edge connectivity, and industrial IoT is basically the long range cloud gateway control connectivity. So you can have, since you are interacting with cloud, then you need the long range connectivity with 4G, 5G, or LoRa, satellite. And on the commercial IoT, this is also long range cloud gateway control connectivity. So this is also long range connectivity solution. Permission. So consumer IoT is basically user control, uh, because since it is dealing with individual and family, so it can be a user control or a group control access. Industrial IoT should be administrative control because you are controlling the a lot of machines or like assets, right? So definitely it should be administrative control, and same as for commercial IoT, the permission should be administrative control. Data, consumer IoT, it's moderate volume, and industrial also it's moderate volume, and commercial IoT, I mean, we are dealing with high volume of data. It totally depends on how many nodes you have and how much data they are generating, right? Life cycle, consumer IoT having short life cycle, industrial having long, and commercial is also long life cycle. So we need to design the products. The basic thing is like we need to make sure we are designing the product around these aspects. Interop. So interop is one of the other things. So uh, consumer IoT, it's more or less independent because we are not really doing interop with the legacy devices. unlike industrial and commercial. However, in industrial and commercial, we need to coexist with legacy device. So whatever solution we make, it should be interop with the legacy device, legacy solutions. So this is the quick comparison. So security aspects, which is the key aspects and the security challenges we'll be discussing in the next session. So this is just like IoT 101, which gives the basic overview so that we understand what are the security challenges, security risk in the next upcoming session. Thank you.